Hustitia Guam, I'm Jason Salas. To advocate for good justice and good practice in the local government is a noble thing. It's a very, very tall order to fill. And it's also one of the reasons why the judiciary is looking for nominees to see who is worthy in our community to be awarded the Hustitia Award for doing just that. And joining me right now on the KUM couch, I have the very Honorable Judge Maria Cenzon. And Hustitia, Judge.
Hustitia.
Your Honor, always very good to see you.
Nice to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you again for the invitation.
Well, thank you for taking up yet another responsibility that you have for our beloved island community and being able to seek nominees for the Hustitia Award. I mean, which is no laughing matter. I mean, this is really, really serious stuff. And as I said, you know, it's a tall order to fill, and someone who really cares about our community.
Oh, absolutely. And it's one of the opportunities that we have during the year where we can actually recognize someone, an organization or an individual, for contributing to the rule of law, for recognizing and helping strengthen our judicial system. And so it's really something that we take to heart. We've been doing this since 2008. And we've recognized a lot of folks who have made valuable and invaluable, really, contributions to the island, and just helping us as stakeholders as well.
And to be fair, Your Honor, and so a lot of people think, including myself, you know, we were talking before we started doing this, is you don't have to be a licensed attorney to be able to submit a nominee, or you don't even have to be like in Gov Guam. If you are just someone who, you know, believes in good government and advocating for justice and everything, your nominee is absolutely welcome.
Oh yes, absolutely. Anyone can submit a nomination for an individual who has supported civic organizations and building up, again, like I said, the rule of law and the administration of justice. Someone who has really contributed as a civic organization or even an individual. And so any person, you know, my mom could submit a nomination. You know, anyone really can submit it. It's just a 250-word kind of essay or statement about this individual or this organization. And as long as we kind of have it by our deadline, we'll be okay. So our deadline is actually April 5th.
I was going to say, let's talk about that. Okay, but you know, like spring break is over now. Like everybody's back in that work mode. And you know, 250 words is not a lot. And that's a good succinct time to actually talk about somebody's qualifications and why they are deserving.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'll give you an example of some of the folks who have been nominated in the past and who have received the Hustitia Award. And most recently, it was the Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness Center, because they do contribute a lot to our therapeutic courts, for example, with a lot of, you know, very limited resources that we do have on island. We've also recognized the Ali Shelter, Seroptimus International of the Marianas. We've also recognized, of course, some of our judicial officers, both who have, all of whom have retired, including the late Cristobal Duenas, who was a district court judge, as well as the one of the island court judges, and of course Judge Manabusan, Judge Barrett Anderson, and a lot of other folks who really have contributed a lot to demystifying the judicial process and the justice system. So.
It's also interesting how many of the names and many, many more that you didn't mention everything are people in our community and, you know, public servants who never sought awards. But by that merit, you know, they're very, very deserving of this because their life's work was all about making sure that the government is held accountable, runs smoothly, and that justice is done.
Right, and we really encourage folks who really kind of from the outside looking in, because it's easy for us to see who really contributes to the justice system if you're part of the organization. But really it's more meaningful, I think, if someone who's outside of the organization can look at folks who have contributed and, you know, give their 250-word little statement about why they think that that person really does deserve the recognition that, you know, a lot of these folks really don't get throughout the year. Yeah.
Okay, so now we've talked about exactly the what and we know the when. Can we talk about the criteria in detail? What specifically are we looking for nominees?
So I don't want to get the criteria wrong, but of course it's those who have fostered building the public support for the judiciary, those who have encouraged you know, civic duty and performance of your civic obligation to the community of Guam. It's for those who have promoted respect for the law and an understanding of the judicial process, as well as those who have volunteered their time and their talents towards building a better community for Guam.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a big sports guy. You know that. We've seen each other. We've actually talked some hoops over the years. We talked baseball. Can I actually submit more than one nomination?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, and in fact, we do encourage it because that gives the committee a lot of folks to think about, right? And we don't have other than the criteria that I mentioned, it's really very something that we can open up a dialogue about. And oftentimes, a lot of the folks do have a carryover because they're so close. And of course, the Chief Justice does have the final word in who is selected as the awardee for the Hustitia Award.
I was just about to say,
Yeah.
Your Honor, I have no envy, or I do not
It's
envy.
hard.
Yeah, for the committee or
Yes.
individual who sits there and says, okay, I need to figure out who is most worthy to carry, the title of Hustitia, awardee.
Right. Yeah. And normally the Chief Justice does make recognize that person during the State of the Judiciary address, which is always on May 1st, and that is coming up. But the actual award presentation is on a date to be later announced. Yeah.
Okay, what is it like to be able to, to solicit nominees, is one thing, and it's a wonderful thing. And, we're, of course, inviting the community to take part in this because it's a wonderful award. But to actually see someone recognized for their work and, to be able to say, like, we realize that in our community, you're doing good things and you deserve, to be recognized for that.
Yeah, everyone wants to be recognized for all their contributions, right? Especially and a lot of folks don't, expect it. And a lot of our awardees would never expect to have the accolades because they're doing it out of that's their passion. And so I think it's really important for us to really have that recognition. And like I said, I think it's important that the community also recognize this person or this organization because it's easy for us, for a judicial officer or for someone who is already involved in the justice system to look outwardly and go, oh yes, this person has helped or this organization has helped us tremendously. But when the community itself can recognize that and kind of see that, that's really important in advancing justice and the judicial system, I think that really is more meaningful. So yeah, I do recommend and really encourage folks to think about who they see out there in the community. Some good news sometimes for a change is always good.
I'm always in favor of that.
Yes, and that also, one spark will inspire others to maybe also contribute. They might have an idea about what they might want to do as to be a part of the judicial process, not just serving as a juror. Nobody wants to do that, but we thank everyone for their jury service. But it's something that's a little bit different and a little bit fun, really. And I think that that's something that other family members can also think about when they, for example, have someone who has received the Hustitia Award. It's like a true recognition. It's not just, oh, you did a good job, good job, Mom, or good job, Dad, or good job to whatever organization it is from internally. It's really that island-wide recognition.
There you go. Okay, and final question, Your Honor, because I know we've given our community, you guys got some homework to do. You got to write a 250-word essay, at least one, right? But where do they submit their nominations?
So our Director of Policy Planning and Community Relations, that's Sarah Elmore Hernandez, will give you her email address and you can send nominations to her. Also, you can just check us out on Instagram at Guam Courts as well as on Facebook. And I believe we do have information about how to submit a nominee for Hustitia.
Very, very wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, Your Honor, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. And thank you once again for doing this amazing honor for people who are really deserving of it.
It's an honor for me to speak about it because it's really something that we are passionate about. So thank you for giving us a chance.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Thank you.